And we're
go.
live. And we're live. Welcome in Third and Teal. No intro. That's what it's called. Oh geez, I just realized my trash bag fell over. So that's just in the background. That's cool. The cleanest my room looks, now there's a trash bag back there. But nah, man. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? They got Eric and Trevor in here. Trevor's on the job right now. And how's it going? How's it going, Officer Nice?
Oh yeah, Officer Nice indeed. It's going great, man. It's a good day. We got a festival going on in the city, so we're keeping our own.
I got you. Yeah, Ferris Bueller's Day Off is what it sounds like. Eric, how you doing?
Yeah, great, man. I'm just happy to see my buddy down there.
Yeah,
You know, everybody protected if he on the job.
heck yeah. Everybody protected, and everybody's. I'm not gonna say that, but he's handsome. We'll just leave it at that.
You'll have that on your bigger job.
But yeah, man, we haven't really had a chance to meet up since the draft, and we haven't really been able to. We haven't really talked. We talked about it. I mean, probably more than most average people talk about football in a text message group, but nowhere near as much as we like to talk when we're actually live and on the channel. But overall, I mean, just to get the elephant out of the room, whatever. People don't like this draft that aren't Jaguars fans. Some Jaguars fans, I just realized my mic is not where it normally is, so I don't know if that's better, worse, whatever. Y'all gonna hear a little bit more of me, but I will say, I mean, the sentiment around the league is that our draft wasn't that great, and I say that lightly, and that's more from a like talking head media perspective. I think a lot of teams probably think our draft was a lot better than what the media thought, because we took guys that they wanted to take close to where they wanted to take them, but the media doesn't want to admit that. But overall though, I'm happy with it. I think we got some guys earlier than we probably should needed to. I think we missed on a couple guys that we could have gotten in the spots that we did have. And I think that honestly, we took some guys that really were kind of just steals that people weren't really looking at. Sure, they were off the consensus board, but I'm gonna bring something up about that actually from the Ravens GM whenever he was talking to somebody. But
Tony Baselli.
Yeah, Tony Baselli I haven't seen his yet. I just saw a clip earlier from the Ravens guy. But I mean, overall, I'm happy with the draft. I honestly, I mean, I think that sure they could have had a better one if you want to say that. But we also won 13 games last year, so our draft wasn't never going to look like we were getting 6 new starters. I mean, let's just be honest.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know what are y'all's thoughts so far on it.
Go ahead. I'll let Trevor go. You never know when he may have to ride out.
That's true.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, other than the fact that we took Borkature over Anthony Hill Jr., I'm not mad about the draft. But leaving Anthony Hill Jr. on the board to take Borkature, that to me, I don't care what your film tells you. I don't care what your general consensus. Some things are sometimes you're just too damn cute. We talk about that a good bit on the show with things that go on with the team, and especially paying people and, personnel moves and stuff. Sometimes you try to get too cute. Sometimes you try to do too much. And I mean, Anthony Hill Jr. sitting there staring you in the face to replace what is obviously it's not like a glaring hole, but like it's obviously going to be one of our bigger needs now that we lost Devin Lloyd. You had an opportunity to effectively develop or fill that, and instead you chose another depth piece for a 13 personnel.
Yeah, which I mentioned it last night on the show, and I was wrong, but I was like really barely wrong. I said there was 4 or 5 guys that went in the next 20 picks. It was 5 guys in the next 30 picks that were tight ends. But actually it was 4 tight ends went in the next 17 picks. And according to a couple of different people around the league, Bjorkacher was the number 1 tight end on some boards in terms of like all around tight end versus, of course, you got, Stowers and Sadiq, who are your athletic, 40-time champions, blah, 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 underwear Olympic champions. But the Bjorkacher apparently was actually looked at a lot higher than what people thought. And, again, that's part of what I'm gonna get into, but I do agree though. Honestly, the Anthony Hill one doesn't sting as much. I don't really care about it as much if he doesn't go to Tennessee. That's where it makes me mad. Like if he'd have gone to like some NFC team that we see once every 3 years, okay, whatever. But the fact that he went to a division rival and he's going to start for them, I mean, day one he's going to be a starter for them. I have no question about that. They've lacked at linebacker and they've needed linebackers for years. And honestly, I do think that he's going to be one that will start for them day one and will not have any trouble. But I agree with you, though. I do feel like we took Bjorkacher too early. But at the same time, the fact that 4 went in the next 17 picks tells you that there's a good chance he could have gone too. But at the same time, again, it's not the pick you really want to see there when you have a top-end player who we didn't think would make it out of the first round like Anthony Hill Jr. at a position that I would say is it more of a need than tight end is. I mean, based on what they're trying to do, I guess it's not. But for me personally, I do think that replacing Devin Lloyd, as much as I like Ventrell Miller, I would not be upset with him having competition going into camp versus, just now he's just kind of, as far as we know, he's kind of just consensus the middle linebacker. So I guess we'll have to see about that. Eric, what are you thinking?
Well, first, I wanted to give a shout out to J Ace Pacer 15 and Emerald the Fox in the chat room. Hey, thank y'all for joining us, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, y'all.
Shout out to y'all.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep following us, man. Well, Friday, when I jumped on, that's the first thing I said. Why did we pick a tight end in that spot right there? That's the first thing that came out of my mouth. But after watching the direction and the draft as the team was picking, I kind of understood it a little bit better. And I mentioned it Friday. Friday. It kind of let me know that they are, I'm not going to say satisfied, but they're good with the linebackers that we have as far as the starting unit right now. And you have to remember, too, we drafted a linebacker last year, and we drafted Kaiser, 2 years ago?
No, Kaiser was last year.
Kaiser was last year.
Last year, too. So we had him and McLeod.
Miller
right?
was 2 years ago. No, McLeod. Hey, we got Kaiser and McLeod last year.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Miller's going in his 4th year.
Yeah. So
I was about to say Miller was a few years ago, and McLeod and Kaiser were the last 2.
Right. So, they felt they needed another tight end, which we lost both tight ends. We lost Long and Hunter. Is it Hunter?
So Long is still here.
Okay.
Johnny Munt is gone.
Okay.
And we re-signed Morrison to a 2-year super cheap deal.
But it was another one we let go though. I don't know. So
you're talking about last year when we let Luke Farrell walk?
No. This year, we let 2 tight ends. We let 2 of them go.
I think we only let 1 go.
No, we let 2 of them. It was 2 of them. It was Munt and who else did we let another one go?
Hold on.
Well, the main thing to me though is right, like, okay, so we're looking for a 13 personnel set, clearly. And we're looking to build heavy in the tight end room to get out and seal the edge.
Right.
Let Bayshaw get out there and get some speed going, right? Which great. I love that you're trying to build towards that, whatever. But we had 1 premium pick in this entire draft. 1 premium pick. And we used it to draft a depth piece over a piece that could have potentially been a starter. Now, again, you don't know what happens in that linebacker room, You don't know that could go either way.
You're right.
And don't get me wrong. I'm okay with the fact that we got Borkacher at some point, but with all the damn picks we had, you could have taken Anthony Hill Jr. there and then traded back into the second round to get Borkacher if you really wanted him that bad.
Yeah, but what the thing about this draft was it wasn't a lot of trade partners in this draft going around.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that there wasn't too many people that were willing to come up off of their picks for anything respectable.
Right.
But also, too, though, okay, so even at that, like I will say, this draft was going to be different anyway. A lot of people were failing to remember, like Isaiah said a few minutes ago, we were not the team of old. We're not the team in the past like we were coming off of a terrible season where we got holes everywhere. We need to build now to raise the floor, which I'll completely agree with Gladstone on that. We need to elevate the floor so that we can keep raising the ceiling. But I mean, you lose your all-pro or your all-star linebacker, the best off-ball linebacker in football last year. I get why, but you can't do that and then not even try to replace him with any kind of player that can even compete for that spot.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, Trevor. But if you're an organization and you feel you have a replacement already in house, you don't just go after it just to say, okay, we went after linebacker to replace him. Because let's remember, 2 years ago, we were all talking, hey, Devin Lloyd got to go. He got to go. So he has this this great year in a financial contract year, and all of a sudden now we have to keep him. So that you have to look at it at the big picture. Was it the scheme, or was it just him come around? I'm leaning toward more. It was the scheme he was put in. They gave him a little bit more freedom. That's the way I'm looking at it. Yeah, but also the same thing, I think with what the team wants to do as far as running the ball, we need those tight ends. So the talking heads say, yeah, it's a reach, and a lot of us thought so. But if you look at the way the draft fell, the way we started drafting, that's exactly what the team was drafting for. Be more physical, run the ball. So,
the team was on point with what they wanted for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, if you look at it from that point of view, it wasn't as much of a reach as a lot of people believe. Hey, Cyclops, what's going on?
What's going on, Cyclops? Yeah, it was only Johnny Munt that we got rid of.
Okay.
I think the one you're thinking of is Hunter Long, just because we haven't heard anything about him, like outside of his touchdown in like week 1. But yeah, no, it was just Munt that we got rid of. We still have Morrison, Strange, Herbert is still here technically, because he was on the practice squad. Now he's on the 93 or whatever. And then we got, of course, Bjorkacher, Koziel or Pennzoil is what we've been calling him on the main show. And then we got Connor something as a undrafted free agent.
Right. Okay.
It's also shout out to Jarian. I know Jalen Husky in his draft thing mentioned that he's going to have to reach out to Jarian about getting 22. And shout out to Jarian for doing that for him and switching numbers. Going to number 4, letting Jalen Husky. And it wasn't just like, that was my college number. His sister passed away whenever he was younger, and he's always worn that number since then. That was her number. She played basketball. So shout out to Jarian. And really excited to kind of have that. That's a pretty cool opportunity. But all the numbers were announced, all the number changes. Had a good bit of number changes this year. There's a new number 1 in town, and it's Trevor's favorite cornerback. Mr. Monteric Buster Brown is now number 1. I don't know why. I've always hated seeing 30. 30 for me, like I hate that number. I don't know why.
Why?
I don't know. I really don't. 30 has always been one for me that I hate seeing. And now I don't know that I necessarily like him being 1.
I don't like him being 1. I know that.
But no, man, that's that was pretty funny. I saw that. I said, oh man, I'm gonna have to take a little jab. But I was, how like they put out the new numbers and it's like last worn by Koziel and Bjorkacher, and Wesley, not Wesley. One of the other ones, I have no clue who it was. Like I was like, I don't even remember that person. And whenever it says last worn by, but Bjorkacher took 87, just like he was at Texas A&M. Koziel got 89. I need to pull up the graphic, but they announced the numbers and everything. Couple of changes too. Antonio Johnson going to 6 now that what's his face is out of here. Savage.
Yeah.
We got, like I mentioned, Monteric Brown, Trevor's favorite, going to number 1. We've got one Mr. Jarian Jones going to 4 as mentioned before. And we have, who was the other change? It was It was another DB, I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Hold, please.
I don't know. I know one ain't it.
There it is. LaQuinn Allen Jr. is going to 5, and Cam Silman Craig is going to 42. Forgot he was on the roster, but he is. For the rookies, CJ Williams will be number 18. This is in number order, not draft order, by the way. Josh Cameron will be number 19, going from 34 to 19. I like that because if he wore 34 at receiver, I probably would have thrown something out of the window. I hate that.
For sure.
Then we got Jalen Husky with 22, Parker Hughes with 53, Zach Durfee, Prospect X, as they call him, 58. Emmanuel Pregnon will be retaining 75. Nate Bjorkacher will be retaining 87. Tanner Koziel will be retaining 89. Wesley Williams will be 90. Last worn by Emmanuel Ogba, that bum. Albert Regis will be wearing 98. Hey, Smoot's a dog. I'll never talk bad about Smoot. You know, I can admit when it's time for him to go, but I'll never say anything bad about him. Love Smoot, but Albert Regis will be taking that number. Got a couple. I mean, the UDFAs also pick numbers, of course. Michael Worthman, number 0. Joey Aguilar. I'm excited for him because I hate Nick Mullins. 17. Preston Hodge, 26. Jamari Taylor took 30. Excited for Jamari Taylor as well. So I think he could push DJ Dallas for that return man / RB4 spot. Devin Neal is getting 36. Devin Marshall, 40. Alex Bullock, 45. Ethan Connor, that is the tight end I was referring to, 48. Brady Boyd, 49. Brian Thomas Jr. with a Y, 57. Quindarius Dunnigan, 59. Jimto Obedegwu, 62. Something, I don't know. Jordan White, 67. Garrett DiGiorgio, 74. Ben Patterson, 83. Trevor Pena, 86. TJ Bowlers. I'm gonna call him Ballers. I don't care what it is. 94. And Jalen Hunt, 96. A lot of numbers. We got 8. I think it was 18 total UDFAs what we brought in. And we'll talk about them as well. But so a lot of numbers, a lot of changes.
Changes. But you know, a draft pick I want to talk about that nobody's really talking about though, that I think is a steal.
I think
a shot, and that's that Josh Cameron.
Yeah,
he's like a switch armor knife, man. I watched him play at Baylor. He returned kicks. You know, he played tight end. He played on the outside. I mean, the kid, he played running back. The kid can ball, and he's physical. He is very physical.
You know what else too?
What's that?
Him and Bjorkacher have something in common, and I don't know if we have more than just this. They were both walk-ons.
Yeah.
Josh Cameron was a walk-on, and I was watching some of his stuff. He squats 528 pounds.
Yes,
insane.
6'1", 225. What he is to me is what Laviska Shenault was supposed to be.
Yeah,
and he's not as stocky as Shenault. He's a bigger dude, but he's built right, and he definitely plays faster than what his 40 time was. I'm not trying to steal your thunder, Eric.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I like him a lot too. I think he plays a lot bigger than he is.
Yes, he does. I mean,
he drags dudes in the end zone too.
Yeah.
that 500-pound squat shows every time he drags 3 dudes into the end zone on his back.
Look, when I saw we drafted him, I'm like, oh hell yeah, okay, yeah, I'm really happy with the draft now.
I think he's going to be our next Parker Washington.
Yeah,
and honestly, I do think that Josh Cameron and Parker Washington were drafted to not necessarily force Parker's hand, but like let him know, like, hey, these guys were drafted in the same round you are, do the same thing that you do, but they're bigger. And not saying that they're going to replace him or whatever, but I mean, that is something where if Parker starts asking for too much, I mean, we've got too many receivers on this roster that we got to figure out who we want to keep him for how much. I know, Trevor. I know. I don't want to think about it either, but I mean, honestly, though, I think that the Bjorkacher and the Koziel picks are doing the exact same thing to Strange though too.
No, that I agree with. Because the Strange thing. Look, we all love Brent Strange. Okay, I know we're all big Brenton Strange fans, but he hasn't done anything to this point that is not quite kind of like replaceable. Not that I want him replaced. But you know what I'm saying. But I will say this though. Parker Washington has done some shit that you are not just going to fucking walk into a wide receiver being able to do. Parker is insanely quick. He's insanely athletic, and he's always great with the contested catch. I don't care what that man wants. You pay him. You pay him because he, and I get putting pressure. Competition's always healthy. But honestly, I think it's a little soon for that. You're just now letting him come into a potential spot where he's a full-time starter. Well, you're just now letting him get there.
He's also going into year 4.
No, I agree.
Part of the issue too. But
no, I can see the reason to like make sure you have a backup plan. But man.
Well, what I'm saying though is Josh Cameron, and I love Parker Washington. Don't get me wrong, I do. But Josh Cameron is Parker Washington, but 2 inches taller and 15 pounds to 20 pounds heavier. And that's just the reality of it from watching the film. Of course, I don't know what he is in the NFL. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you're putting person to person for college film, Josh Cameron makes all the contested catches. He breaks tackles. He does the returning. He runs hard. He runs routes. He plays faster than his 40 time says. Because Parker was also a mid 4.5 guy, I think, or a high 4.5 guy. I'm not at all saying that this guy is going to replace him. I'm just saying that CJ Williams and Josh Cameron are both 4.5 guys that are 6 foot, 6'1", 215, 220 individually. And they are contested catch route running guys. I mean, that's all I'm saying. They have a lot of experience. Yeah. But, like I said, I'd like to keep Parker Washington. But the issue is they've been working on a contract with him for what? 2 months now? Month and a half, whatever it's been since we heard they were working on one.
Yeah, I'm just saying, they said that, but did we ever get that confirmed though? 100%? Because I don't remember actually seeing
everyone in the Jags media. Everyone
I know we all have said it.
Travis said it, and if Travis said it, I believe it.
I get that. It's just, man, the last time they said that, it was we're working on the deal with Ingram, and then the deal with Ingram was still 6-7 months removed. So,
but go ahead. I'm sorry, Trevor. Go ahead.
I do think they're working on a deal with him. I think though, I don't think it's going to be the money that's going to be the issue per se. I think it's going to be they're going to have to discuss projected value from him as a full-time starter from the jump, because he's never gotten that. He's deserved it, but he's never gotten it. So now he's getting that, at least we presume, and that's going to, of course, increase what he asked for, but it's only going to go up to so high because then they're, of course, going to come back with immediately we've never given you this full-time role before. You've only stepped in injury situations, and you played a heavy load last year. It's not like you didn't play a lot. You did, but you weren't the starter. Now you're the starter. I need to know what's coming from you. I want to be sure, stuff like that. So, I mean, I think that's more what it is. I think they've just got to nail down what the plan for him is and what they put the value for that to be.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But, I mean, I understand it both ways, though. I mean, I do think that these guys
I'll riot if he leaves.
I do think that these guys are kind of a backup plan for him. But that's not to say that, that's why they're here is to replace him. I just think that you're bringing in guys that play similarly. I mean, Parker Washington got the Jaguars tattooed on his chest or on his side, bro.
No. That has him. It has him standing there, but it doesn't have any logos on it.
No, that's what I was about to say. But I don't see any logos. He future-proofed the tattoo. That was smart.
Yeah, he did.
But it's still it's our jerseys. But there's no logos. He was smart about it. But no, I mean, like I said,
yeah,
I want Parker Washington in Jacksonville.
Agreed.
But again, honestly, the hard part for me is we just signed Jacoby Myers for 3 years. We have Brian Thomas Jr. with a 5th-year option. We have Travis Hunter, who's going to play both sides. I mean, he's going to play more corner, but he's still going to play offense. It's going to be really hard if Parker comes back and says he wants 12 or 15 to 20 million a season, depending on what it is. if we're planning on keeping Jacoby Myers around for the duration of his contract, or we're not getting rid of Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, that's the big thing for me. It's a crowded room where wide receiver 3 could be asking, wide receiver 3/4, depending on who you ask, could be asking for upwards of 15 to 20 million a season.
I think he's more wide receiver too at this point. But in my opinion, with the workload and the way that he was actually working within the offense and the way the scheme flowed through him, I think he's more wide receiver too. I think Jacoby became a wide receiver 3. But I will say this though. I mean, you pick up the 5th-year option on Brian. Okay. You pay Parker. Travis being a corner as well only helps us on the salary cap as far as not having to pay a corner and a receiver separately. You just give a slightly elevated amount for the one guy for 2, and he features in it offense on the other side. So, I mean, that really goes to help us. Realistically, that should mean we could afford the extra spot to keep a Parker Washington if he asked for just a little bit more, because that money you're saving on a secondary person, which I'm not saying that Travis is going to fucking, be cheap, but he's not going to cost the cost of 2 people. They're not going to do that. They're not. Yeah. They're going to make him the highest paid individual player, but they're not going to fucking pay him 2 people. So, that being said, they're going to give him his money, but that money that you save, you can afford to to essentially pay Parker that couple extra million that he might ask for if he does. You can afford that because you have the two-way player to feature on both sides of the ball. That being said too, though, crowded room is that's a good thing to have. I just don't think that you replace the guys that are actually making the plays for you. If anything else, go draft you a 6'4", 6'5", 4'3" guy or a 4'4" guy and make Brian Thomas feel some fucking pressure, because he did absolutely nothing last year outside of 2 games. So you go put some pressure on him. Make him realize that you got to lock back in, bro, because what the hell? But then again, we're talking about a Brian Thomas Jr. contract that if you take the 5th-year option, you've still got 3 years on. So, you know what I mean? I think we've got plenty of room and time to pay Parker Washington what he wants.
Yeah, we'll see. We also got to re-sign Trayvon.
We just did that.
Oh, that's right. We did. I'm sorry. No, we're currently working on Brenton Strange and Parker. We just re-signed Trayvon.
We're working on Brenton Strange and Parker.
Hopefully be getting rid of Eric Armstead before long. And we are going to be clearing up some dead cap after this season.
Right.
It's tough, man. It all depends on how they value him and how the organization values him and how these players come in and perform.
Right.
But it's a question either way. And it was Mike DeRocco that originally reported they were working on the extensions with Parker Washington and Brenton Strange.
Maybe wait until after June 1st. Make some June 1st cuts.
They might.
Also.
I can see Eric.
That would make the most sense to me. That would make the most sense to me. But even then, like we were talking about, okay, so we want to pay Brenton Strange and Parker Washington. Let's say we are having a little bit of constriction on money right now.
Right.
Anybody that says you pay Brenton Strange over Parker Washington is retarded. I mean, we just drafted 4 fucking tight ends, didn't we? And plus the other 2 or 3 we already had. I'm not saying that Brenton Strange is not a great player and that he doesn't make a difference when he's playing, because he does. You do pay. I'm not saying he's not going to be paid, but if it comes down to him or Parker, it should be a no-brainer. You pay Parker, because the only reason this offense started to flow and started to average damn near 30 points a game was because they couldn't focus solely on Brian Thomas or Jacoby Myers. They had to worry about Parker Washington too. And then they had to worry about, of course, they did also have to worry about Brenton Strange, but it was more so Parker Washington, Jacoby Myers, and Brian Thomas Jr. that they stressed the field. That's how we ended up opening the game up and actually scoring points. You don't give that away.
Truck's about to come around your way to hook up with the trailer and get it out.
If I'm reading this the right way,
your way with the trailer.
Let me see. If I'm reading this the right way, we will save just about $10 million against the cap if we cut Eric Armstead post June 1st.
Okay.
It looks like it's if I'm reading this right, it's $4.9 million dead money. but it's 14.485 of cap savings. So it'd be right around little under 9 million. Is Trevor in a better mood? Just don't bring up Walker Little, and we'll be okay.
We'll be okay.
We're doing good if we're not talking about Walker Little.
What's good, Robert?
What's good?
Well, Robert's probably also asking because he was in there when I popped in for the draft, and I saw that we took Borkature with Anthony Hill just sitting there. I was very upset. Very upset.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's also to say too, like just like we've all been talking about. I think the team did a great job developing instrumental depth pieces. I think that they did a phenomenal job doing that. I don't think they drafted very many people that are, if any, that are going to be, day one starters. I don't think they did that. But I think you're talking about guys that are like, it's not to the point now where, like, if our starters aren't on the field, you're kind of worried about what's going to happen. They drafted some good depth, and that's good. We needed that. We really did. We really needed that. And I like that they set up the 13-man because that's what they wanted. And that's good. Like, you made a plan, and you're sticking to it, and you're going. And that's all great. I love that they did that. Anthony Hill Jr. sitting there to fill an obvious hole that we do need to we do have still a question mark on. I think that's the one spot where, like, man. And Liam's like, well, I had a dream that we took him. That's great, dude. But I had a dream that our defense actually recovered from losing a Pro Bowler, which, again, still, I'm not saying that he deserved to be paid because, like you said, Eric, I absolutely agreed. He had one good year on a contract year. I'm good with the fact that we didn't do it, but I'm also just going to say, though, you have to be able to replace the production he gave you. Whether it was him or the scheme, it doesn't matter. The point is that there was a level of production there that you now have to, recreate in someone else, and you didn't draft anyone to take that spot.
Right. I'm not even arguing with that. I agree with that. What do I say? Watch full Texas games. Nate.
Yeah, Texas A&M.
His QB never saw. Oh, okay.
Yeah, if I saw it right on Bjorkature, he had a 76-point-something% contested catch rate, which is crazy. I think he was number 1 or number 2 in college football. And he had like an 82.6% separation percentage. Like, the dude was always open, and his quarterback just never threw to him. They showed a couple of highlights of him but like he was like standing there wide open, and his quarterback throws a contested ball behind him, like to somebody else trying to get a jump ball in the back of the end zone while he's standing 2 feet in the end zone, just standing there with his hands up wide open. And again, everybody that talks about him is like, well, I liked him. And honestly, I think he's a better catcher than what he had at A&M. He just didn't get a lot of opportunities, but like he's just a blocking tight end, and he's almost 25, whatever. Like, okay, cool,
you can't keep saying that. It's all contradictory. Yeah.
Well, so the issue, and what I was going to say about the Ravens GM, I believe it was the GM, if I'm not mistaken, is that he mentioned that like consensus boards 10 years ago weren't a thing. They weren't. Okay. And nobody drafted based off of no NFL team drafts based off the consensus board. They draft based off of their board and who they need and who they want. And he said that teams like the Jaguars and the Rams and the Ravens are drafting like the Ravens, where they go and get who they want and guys that are athletic freaks that play the position that they need, but are still guys that had good production and played more than just 2 years, 3 years of college football. And
they're
so
yeah.
It's one of those things where there's other people in the league that are actually in the league, not these talking heads in the media that want to sound like they know what they're talking about in a draft where nobody knew what they were talking about. They actually. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, hell, in the draft where there's buku talent, most of the talking heads don't get.
I got to roll, boys.
All right. Have a go at.
They'll get more than 20% of their picks correct anyway. So I mean, it's good for them to sit there and say, well, this guy's this guy's that. But most of the time they're wrong. They just as wrong as everybody else. So the consensus is they have no idea what they're talking about half the time.
Well, that was like Underdog. They posted a video talking about, Nate Borkature oh, the Jaguars reached so far on him, blah, blah, blah. He was ranked 221 on the consensus board. But then when you look up the consensus board, he was anywhere between 120 to 160.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So how is it the consensus board if ABC has him at 126 and any NFL has him at 156 and ABC or Yahoo has him at 147 and Underdog has him at 220 to 1. I responded to them. I said Underdog is too, because they were like, oh, the Jaguars are too obsessed with being the smartest people in the room, and I said Underdog is too obsessed with sticking to their own board and not whatever. Like, what are we even talking about, dude? This is ridiculous. What up, Nitro? But honestly, for me, like they were talking about it yesterday on the show, and they're like, "Oh, excuse me.
Oh,
I know who's going to be, like instant impact players." And I was like, honestly, the most obvious answer is Nate Bjorkacher and Tanner Koziel, because they're going to get probably the most reps right off the rip, because we're going to run a lot of 12 and 13 personnel.
Right.
And honestly, I don't think that Hunter Long or Morrison beat them out. I mean, they'll probably beat out Koziel potentially, at least Morrison. I think they like Morrison.
Yeah, they do.
But honestly, I think tight end 1 and tight end 2 are Brenton Strange and Bjorkacher as soon as they pick Bjorkacher. And honestly, I mean, everyone that talks about him says that, oh, well, he's better than what he had on tape because they just didn't throw to him as much. And, oh, he dominated at the Senior Bowl, but he's just a blocker. And he's all like, is he good or isn't he? Like, does he have the potential and you think he can be better, or is he bad? Like, y'all are ranking him like he's bad, but you're talking about him like he's Gronk.
Right.
Like, that's what I don't –
make up your mind. Which one is it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I talked to people around the league, and they actually thought that Bjorkacher was going to go in the next 15 to 20 picks.
Right.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then how is it a bad pick? They reached on him because he was only ranked this. But you just said that other teams were going to take him in the next 20 picks. So who cares if he was ranked 147? If they were going to take him by 76, then clearly he was a lot higher on teams' boards than one.
Thank you. See, that's why you have to just – when they start talking, just be like, okay, trust the process and trust your team, and right now I trust Gladys, and I think the draft was all right. Yeah,
me too.
But I do admit though, when I first heard we drafted tight end, like I told you,
yep, we were there.
But once you saw the big picture come in, you're like, okay. Yep. I understand. And just like Robert said, Jags are going to control the clock and run the ball down your throat.
Yeah, this reminds me of, was it 20? Oh, man, it was 2020 or 2021 where the 49ers came to town and they had like a 12.5-minute drive to start the game.
Yeah.
And that's what it makes me think we're going to be doing to people.
Yes.
Because you got Tootin. You got the new running back Rodriguez. You got Allen. We got all this blocking.
Just break your will, impose yourself on them.
And man, Pregnon, I think there's a good chance that he's starting by week 1. If they move him to the right, if they put him on the right side. Now, if he's on the left side, Cleveland's healthy. Cleveland's going to start. I mean, but if they're smart, I think they work him in at right guard and they get Mercari out of the lineup.
Yeah, I was looking at the roster, one of the roster things earlier today, and they had him behind Cleveland. But I'm with you. They need to move him on the right side. Put him over there with Anton. And I think, that'll be good right there.
Yeah, we need somebody because Mercari is not it. Cleveland's our best run blocking, best pass blocking. I mean, outside of whenever Van Lennon was healthy and playing, he was playing really great, but there's no reason to have him sitting if he can help us out and get on the field.
We know who to put out there, though.
Yeah.
We know who to put out there.
But, man, overall, I mean, the more I look at it, the more I like this draft. And again, I like it from a team needs and the guys we got perspective, not necessarily if anyone looked at this draft, they would think it was a good draft perspective because, I mean, that's just not the case, unfortunately. But,
the thing is, Jaguar fans are so spoiled into being able to draft early in the draft and pick name, top tier name players, and they just have no idea how it feels to be a winner and not have to do all that and actually draft for your needs and to fill your holes, to get what you want, not what you have to take, but what you want. It's a different feeling right now, different team, different regime in charge. So, and you have to remember, this team won 13 games last year, y'all.
Yes, they did.
13 games. And it actually could have been more, give or take a couple of bad calls. So, look, this team is headed in the right direction. Trust the process, and we're going to be all right. Yeah, Robert, the Rams did kick our butt with the three tight end set all day long.
Yeah, and something about this draft that I like too is that, like, even though we reached whatever, we did it the right way. We reached on positions of need and got who we wanted, and then at the back end of the draft, that's where we drafted the athletic freak guys. It's like guys that, like, they're going to be fighting to make the team anyways. Let's just give them a shot. I mean, Zach Durfee out of Washington, I think he was a 5-year guy. He's 6'4", 247, 250, somewhere around there. And he had a 41-inch vertical or 39-inch vertical, something like that. Ran a 4.59 or a 4.56. He's an edge rusher, but he'll probably play outside linebacker. But the way we play defense, he'll rush like Gardeck did and everything. I think he's going to be behind Gardeck, if I had to guess.
Right.
And then we got Parker Hughes at a mid-Tennessee State. Parker Hughes played wide receiver and corner in high school. And then brought it over to college, but then they moved him to linebacker, and he ran a 4.39 at the pro day, and he's 6 foot or 6'1", 230 pounds. He had like a 41 or some 36 and a half, somewhere in that range vertical. But then the other guys we got out throughout, I mean, Nate Bjorkacher, not a lot of production, but he was a 5-year player. He was a walk-on. He played up in Nebraska. Then he came down and played at Texas A&M for a year. And even his coaches said that he's one of the hardest working guys. You got Albert Regis, another guy to Texas A&M who isn't, I mean, he played a couple of years. He's not the best, like, pass rusher. He's not huge, but he's a great run stopper. I mean, the dude knows how to throw his weight around and get in running lanes. And I think he's also going to be decent for pass rushing for us. Manuel Pregnon, I mean, you get an absolute steal. Anybody who talks about that pick talks about how much of a steal he was at 88. I mean, he was the second or third ranked guard on the board, depending on who you talk to, whenever the draft started. Wow. Jalen Husky out of Maryland. He's a hard-hitting safety. He's not the fastest guy, but he has amazing ball skills, and he's always where he needs to be. Wesley Williams out of Duke. Everybody wants, he's not that. He's not that good. He's not that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Wesley Williams had 29 tackles for loss in his college career. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. I mean, he wasn't. I mean, and honestly, too, part of the reason he wasn't the greatest pass rusher is because Duke didn't have a great secondary. So he's just running after the quarterback, and that doesn't always pan out. You don't have a great secondary or a great back half. Tanner Koziel out of Houston. Koziel out of Houston played 3 years at Ball State and then went to Houston and had a 75% contested catch percentage and also run blocks and likes to get his nose dirty.
Right.
Josh Cameron, Eric, you talked about him, and I watched some stuff on him, man. I mean, that kid is a dog. Like, he doesn't care who you are. Like, that's one thing too about both these receivers. CJ Williams out of Stanford as well. They're going to run through your face. Like, you never really hear that about offensive players. Josh Cameron will run through your face. Yes. I mean, that dude's huge. 6'1", 225. He squats 500 pounds. He hits people hard. He goes up and gets the ball.
Yes.
He played, and you can see in his tape, he's not necessarily track racing anybody out there, but his release is smooth and fast. His first couple steps are explosive. He runs his routes and cuts very hard. And one thing I love to see, and I love to see it in his tape, and something they mentioned, another one, same thing with CJ Williams and the tight ends. When the play breaks down, they help their quarterback. I mean, Josh Cameron was on a deep comeback and ran back to what would have been like a little button hook, a little 5-yard button hook, and like was all the way back almost to the line of scrimmage, and then still reached the ball out going backwards and got the first down.
Right.
You know, finding space, getting open for his quarterback, yelling for him, doing stuff. I mean, that's what you got to do, man. That's something we don't really see a lot of.
Yep.
Yeah. Husky is a Johnson replacement, another comp pick for 2028. Yeah, it could be for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sorry. Finish your thought. I want to go back and we can talk about Nitro's question up here.
Oh yeah. So what I was going to say though too is, I mean, you know, we run a lot of three safety sets too, and we like to have 3 safeties on the field.
Right.
And that's another reason that maybe replacing Devin Lloyd wasn't as important, because we might be running more 4-2 with you know, what is that, 4-2-4? No. 4-2-5. Sorry. Running more 4-2-5. We have 2 linebackers, Gardeck and Foye, where Foye is more over the middle, and we have an extra, you know, more nickel like most teams are playing nowadays.
Right.
And then we've got a safety coming down and playing in the box. We can still have 2 safeties high. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff. We like to run that. I mean, honestly, this could be a Murray replacement. Honestly, we could re-sign Johnson for a couple of years and let Murray walk after next year, or he might even, I don't think it'll be a June 1st just because of how much he'll count against the cap.
Right.
But I mean, you know, next season though, I mean, that's a guy that we can get rid of. And honestly, he's really not even that much dead money this year. He's only like 3.8 mil. So if you cut Armstead and you cut him, you're still at a net positive. But I mean, again, honestly, I like what we did, man. But what were you gonna say about
his question is, what is a successful season this year? Making the playoffs through the wild card or win the division? And my response was repeating as division champs. Anytime you go into the season, that's your first goal, to win the division. Win the division, you control a lot. You control everything else. You win the division. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, and I mean, the big thing about winning the division too is it guarantees us at least a wild card spot. So I mean, that's the big thing. I mean, any year you win the division, and honestly too, with how good Houston is / should be next year, our goal should be the win the division, 100%. We want that home field advantage.
Yes.
We don't have a guaranteed ride to the playoffs like in previous years we may have. So we definitely want to win the division, and then we're going to let everything else fall into place from there. But there's a good chance that we could be. I mean, honestly, there's a good chance we could be the 1 seed. We almost had it. We almost could have had it this year. If we won one more game, you know, we're the 1 seed. So
there it is, right there.
It's one of those things, man, where I think you got to win the division, but honestly, those games really have to count.
Yes.
We need to sweep the Colts. We need to sweep the Titans. And I would say we need to sweep the Texans. It's going to be hard to do. I would love to see it happen. But we need to at least split with the Texans and sweep the other 2.
We almost did it last year.
I know.
I mean, you know, that little I won't talk about that game, but yeah, that game. Yeah. So we've shown we have the ability to put it on them. We just have to make it stick.
a Raider for a certain edge next year. No, I know we have a first place schedule, Cyclops, but we beat a lot of those guys. You know, we played some of them, the guys who ended up being first place, and I don't think they got any better than we did in the draft. So, you know, it's one of those things, man, where we already did that pretty much, and here we are. Yeah, no, man. Cameron BTJ better step up. Yeah, I mean, the only difference there though is Cameron's 3 inches shorter and runs 0.2 seconds slower, and that's a lot when it comes to running down the field. But no, I mean, honestly, like I said, I really think Josh Cameron is more of a contingency plan for Parker Washington. As much as I hate
to take some of the load off him when it comes to the return game.
Yeah, that too. I do think he will. I do think he's going to instantly come in and compete for the return game spots.
Yeah.
I do think that's going to be something that's going to happen very early. Is he's going to be a return man. And I'm sure we'll probably see him all preseason returning everything that he can.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But yeah, man. I mean, we really do have some guys, and I'm glad they brought back Gardeck now, especially because I think that Durfee from Washington behind him is going to be the perfect marriage there to kind of usher in a new player. Because they honestly are very similar from what I'm seeing. It'll be interesting to kind of see how that works out. But really, I mean, this isn't oh my gosh, this is the greatest draft anybody's ever had. This is just a solid draft that's going to put players in positions to do what we need them to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's a solid draft. Yeah, we all had questions after the first one, second round, but after that, once you saw the big picture, you understood what was going on. It wasn't the draft wasn't. We just say I had to stop listening to the talking heads, man. I mean, really. We got to put a grade on everything. Oh, ain't nobody played a down yet, and all of a sudden, it's a raggedy draft. It's a D. We give y'all a D. One guy gave us an F. I mean, an F, really? The kids ain't even stepped on the field yet, and already it's an F. None of them gonna work out. No. That's why you can't just get caught up in all that. Wait till they hit the field. And let's see what happens from there. There's a lot of we drafted some beasts. We did draft some beasts. They're not name brand or top tier as they would like to say, but these boys can play some ball, and you're gonna see that when it comes season time. The cats that were on the practice squad last year, they better be working. They better because some of them may take their spot.
Oh yeah, no, I think so. And we honestly I think they said we got 7 of the top undrafted rookie free agents.
Yeah. Five of them were wide receivers.
Yeah. Which honestly, dude, the one I'm most excited for, and I know I already said this earlier, man, Joey Aguilar. I like him. He wasn't amazing at Tennessee. He wasn't bad at Tennessee. He's a solid quarterback. But honestly, I just don't want Nick Mullins here anymore.
I was gonna say he's better than what we have already.
Nick Mullins, I think.
Because we know now we're in trouble. So yeah, we need to work on that part for real. But yeah, that's it. They all love contact and are good in the run game. Yep, Robert. Yep. And that's what the head coach likes.
Yes, sir.
Physical.
Get ready to. You got to be if you're gonna be a wide receiver on this team, you got to be ready to get dirty.
What's the word? Gladstone used intelligently. What? Rich.
Intangibly rich.
Intangibly rich.
Yeah.
All these guys. So they know what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you don't have to ride the same horse everybody else ride. Go and get your own. Sometimes you're a lot fresher.
Yes, I just love the Prospect X is what they're calling Zach Durfee out of Washington.
And how did he get that name?
Because of his RAS score.
Oh, okay.
Because he was drafted in the 7th round, and I think he had like a 9 something RAS score. Let me see. Well, maybe he didn't do the combines. They might not have like an official one, but hold on, I'm trying to pull it up.
That's interesting.
Zach Durfee. I don't know if he might not have had the RAS score. So he is a defensive edge / edge rusher / linebacker. He is 6'5", 256 pounds. He ran a 4.58 40 time. He had where is it? Let me see. Where'd it go? What the heck? Oh, there it is. I think it's 9.78 RAS score.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he got a 9.78 RAS score. He is 6'4.5". So 247 pounds. He slimmed down for the combine, or pro day or whatever. So yeah, 4.58, which is a 9.76 on there. He had a 20-yard split of 2.67 and a 10-yard split of 1.64. He had a 39-inch vertical. He had a 10'3" broad jump and a 701 3-cone. So I mean, yeah, he's got almost 10-inch hands. He's a undersized, quote unquote, undersized edge. He had 6.5 sacks, 13 starts total in his. Oh, he only had 17 games in his FBS career. But I think he went to Sioux Falls actually, from 2021 to 2022. Then he was at Washington for 23 to 25, which is actually funny because I was mentioning Gardeck. Gardeck went to Sioux Falls, and so that's actually funny. We kind of have that already there. Yeah, was Washington the one that won the national championship a couple years ago, or was it? No, it was Michigan. Michigan versus Washington.
Yeah.
So he was on that Washington team though. He started 10 games in 2025.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, man, he's
interesting.
He's interesting. Yeah, I mean, like I said though, I mean that's when you take an interesting guy. Is that is in the 7th round. And then like I mentioned with Parker Hughes, man, I'm excited for Parker Hughes. 6 foot 230, 4.39 40 time. He had the fastest 40 time out of every linebacker. Yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting. Let me see. Oh, there it is. So he had 46 games total. This is Parker Hughes.
Okay.
He was second team All Conference USA in 2025. He had 100 total tackles in 2025, and he was a team captain. He played 46 games in his college career, 37 starts, 3.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, 14.5 tackles for loss, and 251 total tackles at 6'1", 230 at MTSU.
Okay.
And he was at MTSU his whole career.
All right.
Yeah, 4.39 40 and a 35.5-inch vertical.
That sounds like sideline to sideline to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Kaiser better watch his back because that guy's a beast.
Yes, sideline to sideline right there. Robert says the networks are giving Coin ammo for the rookies. The networks are giving ammo for the whole team, man. It's just it's for the whole team. It just yeah. You see what they think about y'all still after you won 13 games. You won 13 freaking games last year. And you see what they still think? Get it started now. Get it started now. But yeah, eventually you have to go out on the field and play though. So now, but you got to do it on the field. So it'd be interesting to see how
sir.
Play out. We got some dates coming up here pretty soon. The rookies report when. I know they got some dates coming up here pretty soon. If I'm not mistaken. They got their little time. They got to get on the field.
When is the rookie taking place? Let's see. Rookie minicamp is the 8th to the 10th of May. So yeah, coming up next week.
Okay, yeah. So we get to see a little bit of them out there and see who's got what for a little bit anyway.
Yeah, we had a good turnout too for our OTAs that we've been having, or first training. We had a lot of guys show up, a lot of big. Trevor Lawrence was there, Travis Hunter, Josh Allen, Trayvon. I mean, everybody was there, man.
I think I sent it to the group, but I don't know. Did you see when they was coming in? They had the DJ out there playing the music for them.
That was funny, man. I think it was Ventrell or somebody. They accidentally turned the volume all the way down. They said, "Oh, my bad."
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there, man. Fun. Make it fun for them. But they know it's all about business once they get inside the gates. Heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. But we're going to be all right this year.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, you know, that's not counting injuries and who get injured and when they get injured and so forth and so on. But we're not claiming any of that.
Yep. That was like they were like, oh, let's rate the 2025 draft last night. And I'm like, he's unknown. He's unknown. See,
and that part also, when you go into a draft, you know, you have to look back and say, okay, who did we draft last year that we know is going to contribute this year, but didn't, you know, and to what extent? And you have to draft according to that also. So it's a tricky situation. But we got Ransall coming back from injury. Got Travis coming back from injury. Yeah, we're gonna be all right. Cyclops says Jags got better on offense, but defense, I don't know. Oh, they got better on defense too, Cyclops. You can believe that. You just don't see it now, but when they get on the field, yeah, it's you think the defense was okay last year, they're gonna be a whole lot better this year. They're not gonna beat Houston yet, but they're gonna be one hell of a unit to try and score against. You can guarantee that. You can guarantee that.
But yeah, man, that's kind of what I've got, brother. What else you got?
Hey, that's it for me. That's all I got myself. Yeah. You know, it's that time of the year we have to claw and drag and get information, especially with this regime, because they don't give nothing away, nothing at all.
Yeah, I know CJ Williams was like, yeah, you know, my agent made it, or one of the scouts or somebody said to me they were interested or something like that. And then Gladstone's like, yeah, he mentioned that. Like, I guess we just got to be better about keeping secrets next year. And I'm like, oh no, like we already don't know anything,
right? They don't tell you much of anything. So yeah, but that's all I got. That's all I have tonight.
Sweet, man. Well, thanks everybody for coming out.
Yes,
I actually remembered to do the vertical view this time, so we got some more people doing that. But thanks everybody for coming out. Cyclops, Robert, you know, Eric Jackson, whoever that is, Nitro. We had Emerald and Jace. Thanks for coming out, you guys. Anybody else that's watching, please comment. We love when y'all do. Yeah, man, I'm excited. You know, it really is going to be a good time. And I'm really looking forward to just getting all these guys on the field. Oh, Flarian, he showed up last minute. What's going on, bro? Thanks for coming out. Yeah, we're heading out, guys. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
All right, peace.